Page 11, Uphill Race. This is similar to what we did on page 10. We have the chord inversions, except now we're dealing with broken chords, not block chords. Because you look at the starting out with an A minor chord, and then it goes to here and here, except it's broken. I mean, you could have played the boogie with that way. You could have played those. You could play those all broken too, just to have fun with it. But here we got broken, so we'll do that. So look it over. I see it's 4 lines long. The clef signs are still treble and bass clef. They haven't gone away yet. No sharps or flats in the key signature, so we're either in the key of C major or A minor. And if you look at the end, the last measure is here. That's an A minor chord. We're an A minor. But you still do both scales, the C major scale and the A minor both. Yeah. I do the scales according to the key signature. So just do it. I have 4/4 time signature, and we have a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 4, which means the first 3 beats should be someplace else. And if you look at the last measure, that's got 3 counts on it. So we're okay. Now, both hands are kind of busy, so I'll take it one hand at a time first to make sure I understand what each hand is doing before I try and put them together. The right hand, you're starting down here on the A minor chord, this position, and you'll learn to recognize these chords in the music, whether it's a block chord or broken, either one, you'll pick, oh, that I know what that is. It makes reading the music so much easier when you can do that. When you recognize this is just an A minor chord and its inversion. We're here, and I connect everything at first. So scrunch up, 2 here. So that's fingering 4. That's what we're using. And scrunch up again here. So just kind of walking up the keyboard. So in time, it's 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. G sharp. And then reach down, D minor. Same thing. And you'll notice in an A minor position, or an A minor key, the 1 chord, and then the second line you get this, that's the 4 chord, primary chord. And then in the next line, you're going to find we're hitting the 5 chord. And we have a G sharp in that in the 3rd line because we're using a harmonic minor. Remember, in a harmonic minor, we're raising the 7th step. That's what I cover in the video. And in the 7th step is 1 less than 8, so that would be here. And so rather than G's, we play G sharps. And that's why they have G sharps in here. They're using harmonic minor. You could play this with all G naturals. You could use the natural minor. It just, harmonic minor sounds cool, so that's what we do. And the whole thing on this right hand is doing that. We're just kind of walking around here. Now in the 3rd line, you just reach, even with fat finger, you just raise up if you want, and then come down here. If you don't want to do that, then you got to do that. 3, 2. Change the fingering and stay out here. But otherwise, in the 3rd line, just use the thumb on the G sharp here, and then raise the other fingers up above, and then come back. And then you're going to go back 4th. Then you lift up, come down. There's no real, you're just kind of doing this. Now, if you'd like, we can try and prepare for this move at the last line when you're here to here. That's rather awkward. So what we can do is not use the thumb on the G sharp. I told you before you could figure that way. And that's a standard fingering. If we add the other E, that's it. If you finger that with 2nd finger, now your thumb is a little closer to where you want to be. You don't have to move as far. We do this a lot in piano. We prepare for moves coming up. So we alter the fingering to help us. I'm going to suggest at the end of the 3rd line here, then come down 3, put a 3 on the beat. And that's why we're closer to the last line. And if it would help you on these, you could finger that way every time, if it would help. You don't have to do a 2-1. You can do it every time if you'd like. I'll leave that up to you and your teacher to figure out. I'm just giving you options. Left hand block chords here. We don't have the middle note. We don't need it. I mean, it's in the upper step. But here, 1, 2, 3. Then here, just add the D to it. And then second line, last two measures up here. Then add the, and then third line, second measure up here. And then thumb comes up. And you can use thumb on all of that if you'd like. You can also use second finger on the B. So it's, if you'd like, different ways of fingering it, and then come back down. Now, last note is 3 ledger lines below the staff, and you should know, I hope, that 2 ledger lines is a C. Just memorize that. It's an important note. 2 ledger lines below bass clef is a C here. Well, 3 then would be the A. That's every other note. And the reason I say you should know that C is because C's, you have middle C in the middle of the staff. Well, 2 lines above treble clef is a C up here. 2 lines below bass clef is a C down here. See, C is kind of symmetrical. It's the only note that is in a grand staff. That's why I say you should know those notes. Those notes you should know. You can figure out the others quickly if you would at least know those notes. Now, put the hands together. Well, it's... There's not a lot going on rhythmically. That's pretty much it. Then once I have the hands working together, I go back over it slowly and carefully, and I get rid of the hesitations. A steady beat. And once I can do that, then I add in the articulation, the slurs and staccatos and accents or whatever. The slurs, just like taking a breath each time. And these staccatos, I'm hinging at the wrist. So, through, do the staccatos and slurs, and once I have that, then I'll add the dynamics. They give you an MF at the beginning, is mezzo forte sort of loud. It's going to be the right hand here. These chords, keep them in the background. So whatever you think, sort of loud, not loud, just sort of loud. See, in that last measure, the first line, I want to hear the melody. This got to be sung, because if you're playing the same, they get in the way. The chords got to support, not get in the way. And the third line down, you get an F. You go up. This is loud in the right hand. Keep these in the background, sort of medium soft. And then in the last line, back down to what you were doing at the beginning. Yeah. Get into the piece and get the feeling that, so you're not thinking about notes, rhythms, and fingering and all the mechanical stuff. You start feeling the music. You want to alter these dynamics, go for it. Absolutely. Not a lot, but a little bit. You're feeling them. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to here. Feel it. 1, 2, all the way through. Feel the natural accents. Again, I exaggerate them so you can hear them better, but that's really what it is. Speed, allegro con spirito. I can't say that word. Never mind. It simply means fast with spirit. I don't know what fast without spirit would be, so let's just go fast and hope the spirit comes. A couple cups of coffee, I can get into the spirit, or wine, or whatever. Just play it musically. So how fast do you think of allegro? Moderato would be sort of in the middle. 1, 2, 3. That's about a moderato. However, if you can't play it very well, that could be your allegro, because everybody's different, but I think it needs to go a little faster than that. 1, 2, 3. Can you go that fast? last measure. If you want to use pedal, go ahead. Put the pedal down right after you play the notes. And lift the pedal up as you play the last note in the hands. Everything comes up together. I generally don't use pedal at the end if I haven't used it anywhere else. I don't want to suddenly change the tone that much there. Unless it's blues. Blues, it's part of the style. But here, this isn't really blues. So I would prefer you just not pedal the last measure. Just lift up and come up and leave it there. But if you want to pedal it, you go ahead. I'm not going to show the pedal if that's all they're going to do. You can handle that. And you don't have to take it as fast as I did. That's just my Allegro for now. It would change later in the day, I'm sure. Let's play this together very slowly. Now, this is after you've learned it. You can play it at least slowly with no hesitations. I'll give us 3 counts. We're just checking notes and rhythms is all this is for. We're not performing it. I'll do the staccatos and all that stuff, though. 1, ready, and go, and. 2 and 3 and.